The aim of yoga, or the meaning of yoga, is to find tranquility. That is what is meant by yoga. Union, communion with the entire cosmos. Communion within yourself. Communion with your fellow men. Communion with your fellow beings, animate or inanimate. And thus communion with the essence within and without, which you could call God. Because God is the cosmic essence. It is the cosmic consciousness. It is cosmic peace, cosmic love. Beautiful tranquility. And if we are interested in having communion with that, we should find that within first. Tranquility within. That is what is defined as yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Tranquility or equanimity is yoga. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha, which means a mind free from restlessness, free from any sort of disturbance is yoga. Or in other words, that communion is not possible through a restless mind. You can never communicate with anybody or within yourself or with God with a disturbed mind. A very peaceful, tranquil mind is necessary. In our modern counterculture language, it's a high mind. The mind must be really high. Not that you have to get high. It is high, always. But keep it like that. Let it be. Not that you are going to create a new height. Not you are going to bring tranquility in your system. All the nice positive things are never brought in anew. It's already there. Beauty is already there. A born baby is beautiful. There is cosmic beauty. But we don't recognize that. We don't even, because it's nature, it's just free. It comes. So you don't appreciate it. You want cosmetic beauty. Cosmic beauty is not recognized because it's penniless. All free. We have, in a way, got ourselves hypnotized that anything that you buy with your dollar is going to be beautiful. Anything that comes free is no good. What kind of cosmetic beauty is this? the flowers. They're just cosmic beauty. Nobody sprayed a little powder on it. Nobody dropped a few drops of essence or scent on it. Even that we begin to do. But they are by nature so beautiful. A born baby is like that. It's born with all ease and peace. Look at the body of the baby, how easeful it is. So relaxed. It can bend the whole body any way it wants. It smiles. It's a divine face. That's why everybody is attracted to that. It doesn't need any makeup. We are all born like that. But what happened to that beauty, that ease that came with us, that peace that came with us? We are destroying in the name of making ourselves beautiful, making ourselves peaceful. Because we have not recognized the nature's ease and peace. So what we try to tell people in the name of yoga is just to recognize the nature's ease and peace. Go back to that. Going back to that peace and ease is what you call religion, religio. You return back. You bind back from where you came to the way you were built originally. We seem to have disturbed it. That is the purpose of yoga, and that is the purpose of all religion. Probably that could ring a bell in your mind, that yoga is also a sort of religion, but not a new religion. Instead, it is the essence of all the religions. In fact, if you call something as religion, it is the yogic part of that religion is what you call religion. All the rest are superficial decorations. You don't need to worry about that. You decorate any way you want, but keep the life. What is the use of decorating the skeleton without life? There are certain basic requirements which is common to all the religions. The foundation, the essential religion and the non-essentials. The basic foundation, the basic wall, the basic roof makes a house. Without that, there is no house. But have that first, and then you can decorate it any way you want. Have as many windows as you want, as many doors as you want. Put the roof anywhere you want, decorate it. But without the foundation and the wall and the roof, how are you going to build a house? And that is what we are interested in the name of yoga. See that the essentials are there in your life. It doesn't matter what label you put to your following, to your faith. Each name is a label. Each religion is a label. You call it in different names. But the purpose behind, the basic requirement is the same. If you just go deep into the scriptures, your own scriptures, you don't need to go and look for somewhere out. In this context, I would like to say that many people think that, oh, yoga has come all the way from the East. Why should the Swamis come from the East, from India, to give us yoga as if we don't have anything here? We never say that. We never say that we brought something new to you, you have to ignore yours and embrace this. There's no conversion necessary. Instead we say, you have it. We may be using certain language which we are used to. We are used to the name yoga, so we are using that name. And there is another reason why we use a new name, because in a way you are tired of your old name. So we just want to give a new name, but the wine is the same. Same old wine, just in a new bottle. Is there not a saying like that? Old wine in new bottle. Religion also is old spirit in new bottles. It's a spiritual practice, no? All we say is the spirit is there in you. Don't look into the bottles for that. So there's no need for you to import anything from outside. You have it. Take for example, what is it that you do in your churches and synagogues? Why do you go there? You want to have communion. You want to communicate with God. It's that communication. Communion is what you call yoga. Sanskrit word yoga means union, which is very equivalent to your English word yoke. Yoga and yoke have the same root. One branch bent eastward and got the name yoga. The other branch bent westward and got the name yoke. That's all. If you go to the root, you will see yuj. That is the root. So you have communion or union already. All we try to say is, you have forgotten the basic things. How to get communion? We are just simply following certain superficial rituals. Many a times we think going to the church or synagogue and kneel there or do something and repeat something, accept some consecrated objects, take it and call communion. Many Catholics, when they go to the church, they say, I got communion this Sunday. Only when they receive that bread and wine as the flesh and blood of Jesus, they feel that they got communion. And they will have communion next week again. In between, nothing. That's not the communion. It's a symbolic purpose. It's a symbolic thing. But the spirit behind is, you communicate yourself. How would you communicate with Christ? Or with Jesus, Moses, Buddha, Allah? Doesn't matter what the name is. How would you communicate with another person? Forget about all the religions. You just want to communicate yourself with a baby. How would you do it? You should become a baby. Unless you become a baby, you have to crawl and make all funny noise. You can't exhibit your words of learned length and thundering sound. You may be an MA, BA, MA, PhD. You can't communicate with the baby, sir. No, it's not possible. You have to Come down to all your fours. Crawl like a baby and make meow, meow, mew, something. Then the baby will know you are another baby. And that is what is meant by communication. I'm trying to prove it scientifically now. What is communication? How is communication possible? Wireless communication. Transmitting station transmits the message, say at 50 cycles, kilocycles, or megacycles. And you want to receive that message at your home. What would you do with your radio set, the receiving set? You would tune your set to what? To 70 degrees? To 70 megacycles? 60 megacycles? 58? What megacycle will bring the message to you? Exactly the same, 50. If it is transmitted at 50, your set will receive only at 50. That means the set should tune itself to the 50 megacycle. Only then you receive the message. And that is what you call communication or communion. That means the transmitting station and the receiving set should vibrate in the same wavelength. Does it satisfy the electronic brains? And that is what is said in the scriptures. If you want to communicate with God, raise yourself to that level. If you can't raise, cry for help. That is another method. Crying will raise you up. The baby never does anything except crying. Mama picks it up. Yeah. So in every way, we have to come to the same level. And that is what you call perception. The law of perception is that to know a certain thing outside, your mind should take that shape and vibration. And that is what is achieved by concentration or meditation. You become that. Until then, you cannot understand. You can theoretically know what it is. That's not realization. God realization is different from God knowing. You know with your own egoistic mind. You know how to bake a bread that won't satisfy the stomach. So the foundation stones in our religion asks you how to work within yourself to tune your system to receive that message. Every individual is a sort of radio set. You have to tune yourself. That is what you call attunement. You tune yourself. How to tune a set? Let's just, when we somehow got into the electronic field, let us try a little of that. How would you try to tune a set? All the screws, nuts and bolts that went out of order, either too tight or too loose, should be adjusted properly. Bring back to its original position. Neither too loose nor too tight. tuning your body and mind. We are not talking about the spirit. The spirit is always clean, pure. You don't need to do anything with the spirit, because spirit is the same exactly like the cosmic spirit. The spirit in you is in no way inferior to the cosmic spirit. Or in other words, the God in you is exactly the same as God outside. The God who created you. I'm trying to put it in different languages. So those who believe in scriptures and in their philosophies can understand that way. The Bible says God created man, including woman, in his own image. Somehow it was written like that. What can we do? God made man in his own image. If you really think a little more deeper to that meaning, what does it mean? It's not that God made only man in his own image. God made everything in his own image. Everything is the image of God, because there is nothing but God's image in this world or in the entire universe. Why? Because the very Bible itself says, in the beginning there was God and nothing but God. Correct? Huh? There was God and nothing but God. That means there was nothing else except God. And then God started creating something. Creating the universe. Out of what? Is the question. Is it something like the potter creating a pot out of clay, or carpenter creating a bench out of wood? If that is so, then who created the clay? Who created the wood for him to create the bench? You can't answer that question. And it will be contradictory also to Bible, because in the beginning there was God and nothing but God. One alone is real. Ekam Sat. The Hindu scriptures say that. They don't differ. The truth never differs. Whatever be the label. So in the beginning there was only God, and then when he started creating the world, certainly he would have created the world out of himself. Is it not logic? So if he has created everything out of himself, what is this? You may call it flower, but in essence, this is God. God became the flower. God became the bench. God became the Swami. God became you. Because there was nothing else except God. And that is what scientists also try to prove nowadays. They don't bring the name God. Yes, everything is the outcome of atom. That is the reason why, suppose all these things that we see in this hall, including the hall, if they are all powdered into small, minute pieces, what would you see? Nothing but atom. So which is the essence? Atom. So there was nothing but atom. Then they started moving around into different directions, bombarding against each other. They gave room for different forms. And to differentiate the different forms, names came in. They're all flowers. You call this rose, you call this another chrysanthemum. They're all flowers, but you have to differentiate it. You call it in different names. So different forms and different names. If you just forget the names and forms, behind the names and forms, what do you see? Or what do you have? Because physically you can't see. atoms. So the scientists stop at atoms. The religion goes one step further, because even behind the atoms there is the consciousness, energy and the consciousness. Even atoms has been stopped, fractioned, and they have come to the level of saying is nothing but energy now. And that energy is what he called the mother. It's always a feminine aspect, energy. The Hindus call it Shakti, goddess. Where did it come from? The original substance, matter, or God, or Shiva. And they are inseparable, like magnet and the magnetism. The flame and the light, or the heat, they are inseparable. Shiva and Shakti. So you see the universal fact behind all the religions. And now if you want to communicate with that God, which is in the form of nature, we should raise our level to that. In what way we differ from the nature? Why did we lose that communication? Now we have to question the other way. Before we try to communicate with, why did we lose the communication? We had the communication before. As babies, we had all communications. That's why the face is so beautiful, the body is so relaxed, the mind is above all these dualities. To a baby, everything is equal. Give a piece of gold, it will play. Take that and give a piece of clay, it will play. The baby can be grabbed by anybody. One may be your friend, the other may be your enemy. To the baby, it's all equal. It doesn't distinguish. The baby never says, oh, you are black, you are white, you are yellow. No. You are rich, you are poor. You are my mama's friend, you are my mama's enemy. The same smile to everybody. Huh? That's how we came. Just think of it a little deeply. It might sound a little humorous. I'm not really trying to be humorous. We should not ignore the truth behind. We all came that way. We were all above these dualities. Ups and downs, pleasure and pain, profit and loss, friend and foe. We saw everything equal as everything in the nature. To the flower, it gives scent not only to the person who planted it and gave nourishment. Even to the person who is going to destroy the plant, the flower will give smell. A tree gives its fruit not only to the person who planted it, even to the person who stones it. Probably he gets more fruit. And that is the nature's law. Not to distinguish. My duty here is to give beauty and fragrance. That's why I am a flower. I give. My duty is to bring forth hundreds of apples and give it. Where they take it or not, drop it. That's my duty I am fulfilling. I don't distinguish who is picking up. No. Everything in nature is like that. The candle doesn't give light only to the man who made the candle. or who purchased the candle. Even the person who stole the candle gets the light when he lights it. He may say, oh, they are all inanimate. Doesn't matter, let us be like that. That is the sign of a sage. That is the sign of God. God never distinguishes. God never hates anybody. He loves everybody equally. Even the man who destroys his own church, he loves. He gives enough strength to destroy the church. Well, child, if you want to do that, try it. But unfortunately, the after effect will be there. You have to face that also. I am not responsible for that. You bang your head against the wall, what can I do? The wall is not interested in giving him the pain because he banged, he got the pain. He can't blame the wall. Nature is like that. It is there just to give you the reward for your activity. What you sow, you reap, and that's what we call karma. The nature is not interested in punishing you or in rewarding you. If God is going to reward everybody, why can't He do the same with the poor people or the culprits or the rogues? He loves them equally. He doesn't even seem to stop that people from doing anything wrong. Say, I give you freedom. You do anything you want, you face the result, you learn the lesson. He is neutral. That is very important to note. God is neutral and God's creation is neutral. It doesn't take sides. Everything in the universe behaves like that except human beings. You may question me, why should the human beings do that? God purposely gave them a little freedom. Yes. I allow you to rebel. Come on, if you want. He is giving us a freedom so that we can use our own intelligence. Either to live as God's children or not. If we live as God's children, we are always happy, peaceful. If we are not, then we face the result. We undergo sufferings, and then we learn to be God's children afterwards. So the nature's duty is to give the proper reward according to your action. Other than that, everything in nature is neutral, like God. So that neutrality is what you call tranquility, equanimity. So if you want to communicate with God, you should raise yourself to that level of equanimity, neutrality. Your mind must be completely steady. At this point, I begin to think that some seem to misunderstand this part of tranquility. What is this? How can I be tranquil then? Shouldn't I do things? Am I not responsible to take care of my family, take care of my other things? That means, in their vision, tranquility means just sitting like a rock. Then the rocks are better saints. It is not that kind of tranquility. Tranquility or stillness behind dynamic activity. That's